I have a relatively short video today, going to be followed up by some bigger videos this week, but the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition, kind of makes me sad, and there's a lot of reasons for it. Now, hold on, before you drop the dislikes that no one can even see anymore for, God knows what reason YouTube did that, this game is awesome. I love the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It is one of my favorite games. But there is a reason that I have rarely talked about the game or the series on this channel. I'm going to do something in this video that I often tell people not to do, which is to attach tons of emotion to something that is made by someone else and then get upset when they don't handle it with the care that you would. But, I've been on the internet for a couple of years now. Everybody is entitled to, I suppose, their exceptions to their take. Skyrim is a game that I played for, I don't know, a couple hundred hours on my own, which is not exactly impressive compared to a lot of people, but I would say probably closer to 1,000 hours with my father before he passed away. A lot of you know that my dad died of cancer a couple of years ago, and this video is not a boohoo feel sorry for me video, but it is kind of a reminder. This game coming out really kind of struck a nerve with me in a positive and negative way, just because this was my dad's favorite game of all time. He passed away, I believe, and I actually try not to pay attention to the date around it because it just bothers me, but about a little over 2 years ago. And he played the Legendary Edition of Skyrim nonstop, the Xbox 360 version of the game with all of the DLC. He started out on vanilla, then we played the DLCs, then we got the Legendary Edition, and then eventually he was still playing when the Special Edition came out and was really into that with the next-gen stuff. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the PC is not the best platform objectively for the Elder Scrolls series. It most certainly is with all the free mods and everything, and far more mod support than console will ever have. But to see this game coming back with improvements included, it is really special to me. This is a game that means a lot to me that I have personally not been able to pick up in the last 2 years. I own it on like everything, just like, everybody else. It plays even on my mother's toaster oven, for God's sakes, with Todd Howard out here porting it to everything. But I haven't wanted to touch the game. And I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I feel pretty at peace with, I guess, everything that has happened. I miss my dad, but I want to play this game again. But a lot of things made me sad about it. And I think the first and foremost one is obviously that, he didn't get to see this version of the game with more stuff, with more official Creation Club stuff, which is essentially mini DLCs developed by Bethesda themselves. Also, it makes me sad the way that the game was handled, personally. Now, I opened the disc up, and I guess just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, I will include a small clip of this. It does have a cool Anniversary Edition case, and it does have an Anniversary Edition disc, right? I am a big collector of physical media. I love it, not just because I like owning something cool, but because I think it's good for preservation. I think it's good to be able to have a disc. In 10 years when you want to play Skyrim Anniversary, you pop this sucker in, and it doesn't matter if that Creation Club's up or not, you have that DLC, all those files accessible on a disc. That's not how they decided to do it. For some reason, we've reached back to the days of the PS3 where there is a vanilla disc and a DLC voucher, and while this might not matter to some people, I find it to be a bit of a slap in the face for a game that has been resold like 100 times now. And it's not exactly like they put the most effort into different versions of this game. I mean, come on. The versions for Nintendo have a little bit of extra Nintendo themed stuff. Cool. Worse performance, but a little bit of extra stuff. The special editions, they perform a little better. They look a little better, but it's not worlds apart. There are mods on PC for free that made that upgrade times 10, just without giving Bethesda anything. And now that we get to this point, the 10-year anniversary where it's a big deal and they put out the trailer and all the hype behind it and get you going on it, they can't even bother to put everything on the disc. Again, I know it's something that's not going to bother some people. A lot of people will play a console game and throw it away like a napkin. I'm not really a fan of doing that with my money. If you want to, that's fine. That's your choice. It's your money. You work for it. It's not mine. But for me, when I buy something and it says it includes content, I want it to include the content on that disc. Otherwise, I might as well have just not bought the physical version of it. I already have Skyrim Special Edition, and I knew that you could upgrade the disc. I knew that you could actually upgrade and buy an upgrade to get to Anniversary, but I always thought, going into this, and maybe shame on me for assuming positive intent from a company, like I always tell you guys to be wary of, happened to let my guard down this one time, God forbid. But, I just find it insane to me that this is essentially just a special edition Skyrim disc, just with a different printing on it. Like a different ink job on top of the disc. That's all it is, because when you put this in, all it does is reinstall Skyrim Special Edition. If you do not have the actual voucher for the DLC stuff with the Creation Club that actually makes this the Anniversary Collection, which, believe it or not, I know people hate the Creation Club, but is a pretty good deal for canon, I say that in quotation marks, stuff added into the game, including quests, expanded storylines, items like, animals, enemies, armor sets, weapons, new locations. It is insane to me that stuff can't just be put on this disc, is kind of what I'm getting at. And it feels really, it really feels to me like they didn't care when putting this out, which just makes me sad, I guess. This is something I've talked about on this channel a lot. It makes me really sad when I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe this was a choice by the, distributors, or maybe this was a choice not by the development team, but by some executive who's a douche, because a lot of these companies have executives who are douchebags who know nothing about gaming, they just know about money. It really upsets me when I feel like the fans care more about the franchise than the developers or than the creators. This is the way I've felt about almost every modern video game and movie and fictional franchise for years. There are very, very few where I go into it feeling like the creators or the rights holders care as much about it as I do if I'm a fan of it, or care as much about people who are mega fans of it way more than I am. And I think that there could be, some really personal connection here. Obviously, deep down, something, and I'm going to be honest, like I try to look at things logically in life, maybe there is a little bit of this animosity from me that comes from the fact of like, my dad loved this game, and to me, them desecrating this game is like desecrating the memory of my father or something like that. But he didn't make the game, he was a fan of it like everyone else. And I guess what I'm getting at is I do have emotional connections to this game, and I do understand that there is a bias there. But what makes me sad at the end of the day is just that these companies can't have this connection to these things that we have. They can't have the connection to actually take it personally, to really put all their effort in, to put all this DLC on disc, to actually offer more content than what they did. Even things like mods, the weird, almost animosity feeling about the mods, even on Xbox, where mods are pushed and endorsed more by Bethesda, both because of their connection with Xbox, obviously, and also because of the fact that PlayStation has those stipulations on mods where you can't do as much with them, right? Even with that, turning off achievements, things like that, when you install a cosmetic mod, like I want to make my character, my girl, prettier, who I play as. But you're going to turn off achievements on me because I'm cheating because I have a mod installed. There's a lot of stuff around this where it seems like Bethesda wants to have their cake and eat it too. And it is so mind-blowingly stupid to me that companies like this, companies like Rockstar re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 5 on everything, and then doing the hack job that was their, trilogy remaster, that they just don't seem to care. When it comes to the editions of the Anniversary Collection itself, it doesn't even matter where they are. They're not that great. Now, I like the new canon armors, if you can even call them that, the new quest lines, the new everything. but parts of it are really, really poorly thought out for a AAA video game from a massive company like Bethesda. For example, fishing. Small games like My Time at Portia have better fishing mechanics than the Elder Scrolls Skyrim Anniversary Edition. All it is press A, wait, 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 press A again, mash it. That's it. That's fishing. Deadly Premonition 1 had more interesting fishing than this. Like a decade ago. What is going on with this thing? Like, why did we even market it off of adding this in? Also, the survival mechanics, while they are enjoyable at times, and I had fun with them, they're so badly optimized. It's insane because in order to actually get around now, you do not fast travel at all. I never understood why you would tie that to survival, because the idea is not with fast traveling that you're teleporting. It's just that you're quickly moving somewhere else to save yourself 5 minutes because you are a human being who will only be on this planet for so long before you die. So you do not need to walk from Winterhold all the way back to Riften for 15 minutes every time you go, right? Well, that's the idea of fast travel. So why remove that just because you're doing a survival mode? Why not just have it be, hey, listen, we're going to add the amount of tiredness and the amount of hunger that it would have taken you to get from point A to point B. Simple math calculation in the game, done. Just a blanket statement of fact. It doesn't help that you get hungry every 2 seconds. I mean, I don't make fun of eating disorders. I don't think that's funny, but whatever is going on with this character would pretty much be akin to a severe thyroid issue. Like, that is what is going on here, because you are hungry all the damn time. You are constantly needing to eat something. But wait, if something isn't cooked enough, it doesn't work. Doesn't actually help you. I'm sorry, I didn't know that if I ate a raw carrot that it wouldn't sustain me for a little while. I don't understand the point of adding in a survival mode if you don't actually take it seriously. The cold mechanic is so ridiculously unforgiving at the beginning of the game that you are essentially having to almost die in order just to get to Bleak Falls Barrow at the beginning to get back the Golden Claw for Riverwood. I was going to say Riften, but for Riverwood, for the Riverwood Trader. And you are... Basically, for me, I had to sprint by a bunch of enemies just to get by them in order to not die. It was ridiculous. And you can't fast travel away. Plus, the warmth mechanics aren't even very well thought out. Your character can be shooting flames from their fingertips, but those flames don't heat them up. What are we doing here? Like, I have seen survival mechanics better implemented from actual modders who are not paid, who are not compensated in any way for their time. They're just sitting out here living their best life, going to work at another job, coming home and working on Skyrim as a developer for free because they like the game. And they are able to optimize and create better survival systems. The thing is, at the end of the day, do I like the extra content? Yes, I like the extra content, but there's so many problems with it, and it's also worth mentioning that if you are on your console and you're on one account and you want somebody else to be able to use the Anniversary Edition upgrade, unless you jump through some hoops to get them on your family plan where they have DRM access to everything you have on your account and blah 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 through some of these consoles that you can do, which is a waste of time and shouldn't even be a thing anyway. You have to buy the Anniversary Upgrade Edition again. So if you are playing it on your account and you're like, oh, I want my wife to be able to play it or my brother to be able to use that upgrade, that upgrade voucher, since it's not all on the disc, like I beat to death 100 times in this video, well, I guess they're going to have to buy it too if they don't have DRM access to every single piece of digital content that you own. It's ridiculous. I understand that is also a flaw with the architecture of modern gaming, but come on, Bethesda, you couldn't just put the shit on the disc like you used to do with your Game of the Year editions? I can't believe that some of these mechanics, as interesting as they are, weren't better thought out. And on top of all of that, the fact that this is not all on disc, while I am going to certainly bring it up again, is such a stupid flaw that could have been remedied by putting 2 discs in here if it really couldn't fit. And I know it could have fit. I 100% know it could have fit. But if it couldn't, we could have done 2 discs. But no. No. Can't bother with that. If Bethesda cares, here are my questions. Why was this decision made? Here's another question I have. Where are your other properties? Where's the love for Oblivion? Where's Fallout? You know, there's no actual enhanced Fallout version. What happened to New Vegas? You know, all these things that, and I would argue New Vegas is like one of the best things that, you know, owned by them that's ever come out. And it wasn't even them. It was basically just Obsidian doing the whole thing. And then they allegedly screwed them out of their bonuses and everything. If you want to look into an insane Bethesda situation, look into the whole thing with the Obsidian release of Fallout New Vegas. It is absolute insanity and just douchebaggery on another level, where essentially these developers worked their asses off. They were given almost no time, managed to make a game leaps and bounds better than Fallout 3, but could not get their salary bonuses because, oh wait, it didn't quite hit the review score that it should have hit when it launched, even though a huge part of that was because of the time stipulations put on them by Bethesda. This is a company that I've always wanted to idolize. I have always wanted to look up to and say, no. Yes, in a world full of people being really greedy, in a world full of Activisions, you know, nickeling and diming every cosmetic piece of content they've ever developed, in a world full of EAs, where your pride and accomplishment is the only thing you can take home in the box, and they just sell freaking PC cases for games now with a digital code in it at Walmart and stuff like that. In a world with these companies that are massive and just want to nickel and dime you at every turn, at least Bethesda, you know, that was always what I said, at least Bethesda wanted to release huge DLCs for a small price. Dragonborn, Dawnguard, things like that. Point Lookout. You know, Operation Anchorage even. A fun time. And I don't feel like I can say that anymore. It makes me really sad. At the end of the day, at least I bought this game on a discount because I had a ton of points at Best Buy. So basically Best Buy paid for most of this game for me. But it's just sad. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I'm really tired of lazy re-releases. I'm tired of companies acting like they care only to then show true colors after that, in my opinion, and kind of just show a lack of, I don't know, initiative to actually do something good for the community and for the game that they're talking about. It's very sad. Maybe it's a narcissistic approach to it, but it makes me sad to feel like, not on a money side, but on an artistic side, that I could run most of the companies I like better than the people who run them. Maybe they wouldn't be successful, but at least the product would be good. Have a fantastic day, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, go ahead and leave a dislike. At least I can see it. I still look. I still care. Unlike, I guess, YouTube. Let me know down there, and be sure to leave a comment talking about your feelings on the whole thing as well. I know that this, you know, some of what I talked about in this whole thing might be a bit of ammo for the people who have decided they dislike me to go after me, but, you know, my dad's dead. Insulting me over him won't make him any more dead, or any less dead. So if you don't like me, fine, but whatever. Have a fantastic day, everyone. As always, stay shway.